wasn't in the plans, but I was out today. We were getting my daughter a new phone. We're in the Verizon store, and I saw the Pixel Pro Fold 9. So this is going to be a first impressions video, like 4 or 5 things that I just was immediately struck by as I grabbed this phone, and then after grabbing it, decided to pick it up and use it for a bit. What are some of the things that I was initially struck by, you might be asking? Well, that's a good question. I'm glad that you asked. First off, I just kind of was struck by the overall look of the thing. There was something about the rounded edges of this front screen that I really liked. And a lot of people I saw have been complaining about the fact that there's a lot of space here on this edge, and the bezel around the whole thing is kind of big. I've never been bothered by that kind of stuff to begin with, so I'm not really bothered by the bezels here either. I noticed immediately, number two, the thinness of this thing. I had the OnePlus Open. That was a very thin phone. I was impressed with the design of the Z Fold 6 in terms of its sort of thinness and squared offness, but not enough to buy one because I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't really feel like I needed to get one. But with this one, the thinness and the smoothness of the hinge, the fact that it opens all the way. The first one didn't open all the way. It kind of like sat, I guess, like in a slight V. And a lot of people complained about that. It did bother me a little bit. But what bothered me more after time using the original Pixel Fold was the thickness of it. Not thickness in terms of this thickness, but thickness in terms of this thickness. Like the original Pixel Fold was kind of this size and like, let's say this wide or so. People call it a passport design. Maybe that's a good way to describe it. It is kind of shaped in generally the same way as a passport, and that was unique and that was interesting. Kind of reminded me of the Microsoft Surface Duo phones that were out a while ago, and those were kind of cool. However, I found after a while using those phones, it just didn't really sit in my hand balanced very well. I hold the phone in my left hand even though I'm right-handed, and then I open it and use it this way, right? So this thing is very interesting. Oh, look, it's got a little bit of refresh rate banding. So that's interesting. I do really like this 8-inch screen. This is basically what, a fatter iPad mini, which is fine by me. I have the iPad 13-inch. It's big, and I like that about it. But for reading and just sort of handheld use, it's kind of not good for reading and handheld use. The iPad mini is perfect for that. This is iPhone 15 Pro Max, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max is fine for those kinds of things. It's fine for couch surfing, I guess. It's easier to hold in your hand and kind of surf with. But this seems to me the best of both worlds, to quote the poet Sammy Hagar, because it gives you almost all the size of an iPhone 15 Pro Max. I mean, yeah, but yet another iPhone 15 Pro Max screen in it. OnePlus Open was the first foldable that I used that had a full size screen on the outside, and this is 6.3 inches. And then open it up, and you have 8 inches. And so I wonder, did Google do this so that they could sort of be somewhere in the middle? The OnePlus Open, to me, was the Goldilocks folding phone, I guess, because the Pixel Fold was too fat, and the Fold 5 and all the rest of the Galaxy Folds were too thin, and the OnePlus Open was just right. And the OnePlus Open was probably my favorite folding phone of last year. And I did cover it. There's a video if you want to see that. You'll hear what I have to say about that. This struck me as a really nice balance between the aesthetics of the original Pixel Fold, which I liked, and the sort of best of both worlds aspects that I liked about the OnePlus Open. That to me is maybe the best place for a foldable to sit, where it can be a phone and it can be a tablet and it can sort of sit in between both those things, and you don't lose too much from one being one or the other. And I felt like the Galaxy phones have always been a little bit less attractive. I still could never just get over the thinness of the outside screen. And the Pixel Fold was a little too short, and so the ergonomics of holding it weren't quite right. The OnePlus Open was great. I'll be doing a longer review here coming soon. Of course, we got iPhone coming up soon as well. So there'll be a lot of good stuff. And I'll also be back to tips and tricks and creative related stuff as well. So if you're into any of those things, hit the subscribe button, come back and see me again sometime soon. Until the next time, I'm out.